It all begins with Chaos, a female deity who represents the anarchic form of the universe and the primitive state of the cosmos. Then, from the bowels of the earth emerged Gaia, the great goddess or Mother Earth, carrying in her lap a unique and mysterious object, the magic dropper. The incomparable magic dropper, an object resembling a coffee pot with two mouths, but exquisitely crafted and resplendent, contains a galaxy formed by shimmering dodecahedral drops with an extremely powerful energy, similar to that of the nuclear fission of stars, energy with the power to intrinsically carry the history of the planet and of future humanity. From her own being, Gaia creates Uranus, the representation of the starry sky. Together with Uranus, the great goddess gave birth to the Titans and the Titanides, just as they gave birth to the ingenious Cyclopes and the fearsome Hecatonchires, who, out of misgivings on their father's part, were confined to the remote Tartarus. Chaos, for its part, gave birth to Nyx, and Nyx had numerous offspring of deities, some terrifying, others more benevolent like the Fates, the feared and revered goddesses who govern destiny. These deities, whose veins are filled with an ethereal liquid known as ichor, and whose nourishment is nectar and ambrosia, will form a large family and a highly hierarchical society. During this proliferation of gods, Gaia, the great Earth Mother, thought that the protective deity of the magic dropper would be born, but the Almighty had other plans. While waiting for a sign and due to the ambition of some of her powerful children, the magic dropper will be protected by Mother Earth in various caves connected to vortices of the planet's energy network. These caves will become venerated sanctuaries where the famous oracles of ancient humanity will be established. From the second generation of Titans, among many other deities, the cunning Prometheus will be born, as well as the powerful Hecate, born during a lunar eclipse and undisputed patron of the Temenos, the sacred threshold of magic, who yearns to be the protector of the magic dropper. The divine Astraeus, an astrological deity, is also born. Astraeus marries the radiant Eos, the goddess of the dawn, and among their many children, the adventurous and intrepid Anemoi, or wind gods, are born. Boreas, Zephyrus, Notus, and Euro. Being born in different corners of the planet, under different climatic conditions, each Anemoi will have a different skin tone and characteristic features. Zephyrus, the fruitful wind and messenger of spring, had affairs with several nymphs. From his romance with the harpy Podarge, his first children were born, the magical horses Xanthus and Balius. Xanthus's hair was as white as snow, while Balius's was as black as jet. Zephyrus believes he has found his true love in the nymph Chloris. Very few know that Briseis is born from this passionate relationship. As with the birth of any other deity, the Fates appear at the austere palace of Thrace to determine the girl's fate, entering the room where Chloris and the newborn are. Clotho sets up the spinning wheel and places the spindle that will help her weave the magical thread of life. Lachesis prepares her rod to measure the length of the divine thread. Meanwhile, Atropos, the eldest of the sisters, cuts the magical thread with her golden scissors. However, the inexorable Atropos tried unsuccessfully to cut the luminous thread of life, which, to the astonishment of those present, spread throughout the room. Filled with joy, the Fates identify Briseis as the one chosen by the Almighty to bear the magic dropper. Briseis' birth during the first summer solstice will be a source of great joy for all the deities. Gaia, the great Earth Mother, grateful to Chloris for bringing forth the long-awaited child, grants her the kingdom of flowers as a reward. The blessed child soon revealed her incorporeal nature when Chloris found her floating above her crib while she slept, as if the laws of gravity did not exist. Later, when she could barely crawl, she would climb onto objects and leap into the void, transforming into a breeze that swept across the room. The beautiful Chloris would run scared after her with her hands in the air, but soon, amid the laughter and jokes of her husband, brothers-in-law, and the wind gods, Chloris recognized that her daughter had inherited that ability from her father. As these episodes transpired, she began to be known among the deities by the epithet Breezy, the daughter of the wind. The centaur Chiron, son of Cronus, king of the gods during the Golden Age, proved to be the most enlightened of all the deities. His reputation for wisdom, humility, and prudence earned him respect and recognition among the gods, which is why the goddess Gaia asked him to be Breezy's tutor. As an amulet, the centaur wore around his neck an enigmatic adamantine cubic die, the indestructible metal of the gods. Its faces were decorated with three-dimensional geometric figures of different colors, representing the fundamental forms of sacred geometry. The die was mounted on a circular support and balanced diagonally by two of its vertices, which made it spin in a spiral. These figures symbolize the fingerprint of creation, a gateway to understanding the structure of reality. When she turned 7, under the guidance of the centaur Chiron, the girl's personality began to develop, and she prepared for future challenges. Along with Chiron, she learned multiple disciplines and subjects, including an in-depth study of the fundamental laws of sacred geometry, where the adamantine cubic die became an important tool for study and work. "Chance is our only certainty," her teacher frequently repeated, showing her the educational dice. He also told her, "Do not forget that we are united by consciousness, for we are part of the universal consciousness." Thanks to Chiron's teachings, Breezy learned that the magic dropper held the secrets of sacred geometry, which reveal the intrinsic connection between numbers, geometric shapes and patterns, nature, and spirituality. She learned to make and throw a sling with extreme precision, and she also became very accurate with a bow and arrow. She also received singing lessons and learned to play several musical instruments, excelling at playing the lyre. Her tutor also introduced her to the art of meditation, teaching Breezy how to relax until her heart rate lowered, how to build internal energy or life force, and how to develop humility, compassion, patience, generosity, perseverance, love, and forgiveness. However, not everything was rosy, as the diligent professor discovered that Breezy was allergic to the fungus Claviceps purpurea, better known as ergot. Ergot is a parasitic fungus comprising more than 50 species, affecting a wide variety of cereals and grasses, with rye being its primary host. Under his tutelage, upon inhaling ergot fungal spores, Breezy had suffered the effects of poisoning, which began with a sudden, intense chill in her joints, causing severe convulsions and twitching, causing her to see hallucinations and utter incoherent words. Breezy's only weakness, so to speak, was only revealed by Chiron to the goddess Gaia and Chloris, Breezy's mother. He told them that the girl should be very careful not to come into contact with those tiny ergot mushrooms again. Their psychotropic properties could cause irreparable brain damage. By way of consolation, he told them, perhaps when she receives the magic dropper, she will become immune to the virus. When she turned 12, the Almighty determined that Breezy would receive the magic dropper from the hands of the goddess Gaia. This is the age he wants the girl to represent throughout the story, so that in a simple, eloquent, and patient way, she can help future humanity, especially children, in their complex social and cultural development, thanks to the powers of the magic dropper. The delivery of such a divine and powerful object is celebrated in an intricate cave connected to the Palace of Thrace, built on one of the peaks of the Rhodope Mountains overlooking the Aegean, where Breezy was born and lives with his family. Only Gaia, the Great Earth Mother, the goddess Chloris, and Breezy are present for the simple ceremony. Barefoot, wearing calf-length white tunics, Breezy's slightly shorter, their hair braided with flowers. This feminine ceremony represents the power of the matriarchy and the Almighty's respect for women. The solemn delivery of the divine object is marked by Breezy's oath to guide future humanity to the end of time, no matter how many difficulties she may face. A unique and unrepeatable ritual in the history of the planet. Breezy, very seriously, takes a resplendent and beautifully crafted chalice that is none other than the magical dropper, while infinite energy flows through her body, granting her a state of connection with something immeasurable, a close relationship with the creative force, with the Almighty. Without considering the unlimited powers the sacred object conferred upon her, she wondered why she had been chosen for such a challenge. She remembered her first day with Chiron when he had told her, "The first virtue I will do my best to instill in you will be humility. Without it, you will not be able to get anywhere." If you do not cultivate yourself and become sensitive to your surroundings, you could turn into a very petulant child. Breezy was grateful for his tutor's patience as she contemplated the extraordinary universe contained within the magic dropper. Now it was up to him to prove that he had learned his wise lessons. This place beneath the Palace of Thrace would become the sacred cave, where the magic dropper would remain protected until the end of time. The cave connects to the palace via a circular stone staircase. Every 1,000 years, one of the mountainsides would open so that the Almighty could supervise and bless the dropper. The sacred cave would also be Breezy's favorite place to practice meditation. From this moment on, the Palace of Thrace would become the most important nerve center of the energy network surrounding the planet. Breezy's father, Zephyrus, along with his brothers the Anemoi, and the magical horses Xanthus and Balius, would form the group known as the Protectors of the Magic Dropper. While the solemn ceremony is taking place in the cave, in the palace, the Protectors welcome the invited gods and deities to celebrate the honor received by Breezy from the Most High, with a magnificent banquet in the Garden of Chloris, the lush and colorful interior garden of the palace. After the ceremony, Breezy, accompanied by the great goddess Gaia and her mother, Chloris, leaves the sacred grotto via the stone staircase. The guests cheer and applaud after such a special event. Breezy runs and embraces the neck of her beloved guardian, who is waiting for her in the front row, along with his wife Chariclus and his daughter Osira, Breezy's contemporary and playmate. She exchanges hugs with the Fates, who will become her comrades and accomplices. Humbly moved, she thanks all the guests, and dinner begins. While the guests enjoy the banquet, enlivened by nymphs from Chloris's entourage, Breezy notices a hooded young man working as a cupbearer. He soon learns that he is standing before Zeus, who is seeking a way to confront his abusive father, King Cronus. Another man Breezy keeps an eye on, due to his reputation, is the devious Titan Prometheus, who attends accompanied by the beautiful goddess Aphrodite.